4 p.m. East African time here in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you for keeping it TV47 as I get you informed on the latest at this hour. My name is Sheilar Chelangat and we begin now. The National Music and Cultural Festivals have entered Day 5 at Moi Girls High School in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, with more communities and institutions showcasing their rich heritage through dance and culture. Different communities and cultures have continued to perform songs carrying powerful messages on peace, hard work, and unity within society.
We are here today to represent RVNP, that's Rift Valley National Polytechnic, in this 98th National Edition of Culture. The song is all about the peace. We sing about the bird. That's ostrich. We believe in our community that the feathers of ostrich and ostrich himself symbolizes peace. When you see, as Turkanas, we believe that when we see ostrich, kuna amani. So ngoma tu ni kuhusu amani na kuunganisha watu pamoja.
All we urge in our country is peace. Peace. If there is peace, there is happiness. That's what we came here to sing about. And we are happy that we have passed the message to the people that they have viewed. And I hope they will change their mentality. And we have peace in our country, in our villages, everywhere.
And President William Ruto has held high-level talks with the Managing Director of the International Finance Corporation, Mokhtar Diop, in Washington, D.C., as Kenya intensifies efforts to secure innovative development financing. The president says Kenya's proposed infrastructure fund is attracting strong global interest, with the IFC expressing confidence and signaling readiness to invest. An IFC delegation led by Vice President Mohamed Guled will visit Kenya early next year to advance discussions on energy and infrastructure projects, including the planned modernization of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport under a public-private partnership model.
Or the collection debt, the collection rate of 7%. So with that in mind, risk insurance we look at our with 5,600, that is where also we have the buffer program.
Analogy, but then gets to speak to...
That affects our cash flow at the hospital. In the aspect of
my brother, how are you? Sorry, you're well? Now we are in...
Away from that, 3 people were shot dead and several others, including police officers and journalists, injured after violence rocked a gold miners' protest in Isulu, Ikolomani sub-county, Kakamega County. The unrest erupted when residents blocked a planned NEMA public participation meeting at Imusali Primary School, meant to pave the way for the relocation of locals from a 337-acre land earmarked for gold mining by Shanta Gold. The relocation follows government revelations that the Isilu and Bushialanga zones host gold deposits valued at about 683 billion shillings. As chaos ensued, suspect hired goons torched a staff room and public address system at Imusali Secondary School and vandalized tents and chairs at Imusali Primary School. Police have since moved in as journalists covering the protests were also attacked, prompting condemnation over the growing targeting of the media.
Kwa majina ni Makele ya Kala, mtetezi wa nyonge. Mimi nimekaa hapa mkazi wa Isulu hapa. Nilikuwa nimekaa hapa nikaona transport karibu 6-7 hapa sikelekea pande huu kushoto. Huku sehemu Msali. So sa kitoko tukaona matia gasi inaanza kulia. Ndio hizi hata matia gasi inaanza kulia. Masikari hata wameshaua mtu mmoja, mwingine wameshampiga bullet. So mimi swali langu nauliza Mr. President. Ninakuuliza nakuuliza kinyenyekea sana. Mr. President, tulienda tukakupigia kura. Sisi wote watu wa Kolomani wote tukakupigia kura kwa sababu huyo alisema ni hasola wenzetu. So, Mr. President, tunasema nini ambayo imefanya mpaka umekeuka? Kwa sababu ama serikali umetoka wapi? Wametumwa na nani? Mr. President, mimi nimesaliwa huku. Wamama zetu wako huku, mababu zetu wako huku, wamesaliwa huku. Mnasema sisi tuende wapi?
Hakuna.
Shaka wale watu wanakufa huko. Huku ngine maji kinaua watu. Sasa wanataka sisi tuende wapi? Sisi tuko huko mpaka siku ya kukufa. Hatutoki huko, hatuhami.
Khalwala should not step here if he cannot stand.
And the Rural Urban Private Hospitals Association, RUFA, in collaboration with other stakeholders, have today announced the rollout of the RUFA 360, a pioneering and comprehensive transformation framework aimed at strengthening private healthcare providers and positioning them as central partners in advancing Kenya's universal health coverage agenda. The RUFA 360 model comes at a critical moment for Kenya's healthcare ecosystem, where underinsurance among private hospital players has remained a persistent challenge, especially for small and medium-sized providers who continue to struggle with inadequate insurance cover. RUFA 360 model consists of RUFA Afya Bora medical insurance product and RUFA pensions. Stakeholders say the Kenyan health system is evolving very fast. Therefore, there is need for private sector to adapt to new financing models, as SHA is a strong cover, but Kenyans still need additional protection.
We are looking for a cheap market alternative medical cover that can be affordable by Kenyans of all income levels. This medical insurance product, which is called RUFA Afya Bora, is intended for mass market. It is very affordably priced. We are looking at a cover for a family of 4 for about 61 shillings per year. So per month rather. So for only 61 bob per month, you should be able to find a very comprehensive cover for a family of 4. It also includes a last expense cover. It extends a lot of the covers we have under the Social Health Authority, extends ICU cover, extends dialysis cover, extends outpatient. We have an amazing dental and optical package in there.
RUFA 360 is on not only taking care of the financial protection in healthcare, it's also taking care of the hospitals, doctors, their professional indemnity that they usually they need, and also making sure that the same is like a circulation, you know, like the fountain that we always see in many places, that the circulation of the finances from the insured to who is being paid to even the people getting the same services is actually the employees of RUFA being the first, then the communities that they serve, because this is a cover that takes care of even their own children.
And as Kenya marked the International Day of Persons with Disabilities yesterday, stakeholders are now urging the government to offer greater recognition and employment opportunities to persons living with disabilities, arguing that they have a significant role to play in the country's development. The Shauri Moyo event, Africa's badminton champion Mary Nduku said the shortage of sports equipment is still limiting athletes with disabilities. Stakeholders urged the government to invest in equipment and support for persons with disabilities and to enforce policies that improve their welfare.
And today's theme is forging disability inclusion in advancing social progress. That society cannot say it's progressing if it does not, look at the most vulnerable people in their society and make them feel part and parcel of that community.
Hivi leo tunasherekea walemavu wote duniani, inaitwa UN Day. Pia sisi tunajimudu tukisherekea siku hii. Hapo mbeleni hatukuwa tunaweza kusherekea sherehe kama hii. Kwa hivyo tungependa serikali itutambue sisi pia walemavu, wakipitisha wakipitisha jambo lolote kwa bunge linahusu walemavu likuwe implemented.
What I could say is government to come up the way in a way whereby sisi kama amputee athletes tutaweza kusaidika. Then the other challenge I could say it's the training, whereby training equipment for the badminton, they are actually expensive, whereby you can't use a can of shuttle. One can of shuttle, it's costing 2,500. Nah, you can't use it.
Away from that, the National Council of Churches of Kenya has urged political leaders to stop undermining democracy, citing widespread voter bribery in last week's by-elections, which it says goes against the 2010 Constitution. NCCK Chair Dr. Elias Agola said MPs have failed citizens by passing unjust laws and worsening inequality. He also criticized the health sector for pushing Kenyans back into constant fundraising despite mandatory SHA enrollment. Reverend Canon Chris Kinyanjui warned that the rising criminal gangs could lead to violence similar to 2007. He reaffirmed NCCK's commitment to mentoring youth to safeguard Kenya's future.
We warn that the anger and despondency among Kenyans is a time bomb waiting for the slightest spark to explode.
Bloodshed as we saw in 2007. Let us make 2027 peaceful. And by doing that, it is by making sure there is no impunity of politicians. Anyone who does violence must be brought to justice. Fortunately, it is below average, and our call on IEBC is for them to do what their mandate is under the Constitution. If a candidate is doing violence, let them not be fined. Let them be deregistered. Let them not continue to be candidates, because that is the power that the people of Kenya gave on IEBC. We also demand that IEBC comes out in the public. Kenyans do not even know the commissioners of Kenya in IEBC. Why? Because they have kept themselves in the office. Let them come out. Let them hold meetings with Kenyans. Let them be in the media and speak to the people, because they hold a sacred duty on ensuring that the next election are free and fair.
And in the world of sports, Kylian Mbappe once again proved decisive for Real Madrid, inspiring Los Blancos to a commanding 3-0 victory over Atletico Bilbao and closing the gap on La Liga leaders Barcelona to just 1 point. Barcelona had briefly extended their advantage at the summit after their That concludes News Now at 4 p.m. with I, Sheilar Chelangat. More of those stories in our subsequent bulletins at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon.